Hey guys, we're going to be in Colossians chapter 1, verse 9. Verse 9, it says this: For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding. What a great verse to look at this morning. Here's what I want you to do. For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, realizing that there were needs in that area. All right. For this reason, for these needs that we've talked about, we haven't ceased praying for you. We pray for you whenever we get an opportunity. And that's what other Christians ought to be doing for Christians. We do that at Mountain View on Sunday mornings. We have groups that meet and pray before the services even start. But man, I think we ought to be praying for one another. I think we ought to be praying for healing. I think we ought to be praying for us to get through these through these things that we see every year, that we experience every day, that we go through, sicknesses, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We ought to be praying for one another. It says, do not cease to pray for you and desire that you might be filled with the knowledge of his will. So not only are we praying for you for your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual needs, but we're praying, on the deeper part of the spiritual needs, we're praying that you grow in spirit, that you that you learn more, that you're not just sitting around and uninspired about learning about this word, about learning about what's in this word. Okay. So when we look at this, we say to ourselves, when we look at this verse, we say to ourselves, what this is telling us is we ought to be praying for one another for all the needs, but especially for spiritual growth, for the learning, for discernment, for wisdom that comes with the word. We do not cease to pray for you and desire that you might be filled with the knowledge of his will, knowing his will for you, knowing his will for your future and for his ministry through you. Okay, it's not just about, man, I just want to know what kind of things I'm, like a horoscope. I want to know what tomorrow brings. No. This is his will. You want to know his will. I'm praying that you will know his will for your life. Some people come and sit down with me sometimes and say, I just want to know God's will for my life. Well, it's hard enough to deal with what God's doing in my own life. How am I going to tell you what he wants for your life? Now, certainly we can go through some things and we can talk about your gifts, what God's called you to, what I probably believe that we're leaning toward, but we'll just go together with God. But here he says, for this cause also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you and to desire that you might be filled with the knowledge of his will. We want you to know his will. We want you to know his will. If you're going through hard times, is this something you're meant to go through? And are you meant to go through it for a period of time before being delivered? Or is it meant to mold you and make you and break you at times? Is it meant for that? To know the desire, know his will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that you will have a complete understanding of his will, that you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is something that you're supposed to do, go through, make it through, help us through, all of those things, that this is something you are meant to do. Okay. And so when we look at this, we look at the hope that's laid up for us in heaven, as Paul says, all of this, when we look to this, it is our prayer that you will grow in the faith, and it is also our prayer that you'll be healed physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It is our prayer that you will know his will and that you will be able to march forward in it. Golly, man, good stuff. Love you guys. Bye-bye.